Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle, aka Stitcherista, here on YouTube, and today is Friday, May 27th. I need to make this quick if I can. We're on lunch break for another 20 minutes, and I would like to eat something if I can. I had my second COVID booster this morning, and that went fine. Work. Boy, I'm telling you, some days it is just completely exhausting dealing with things. My boss and I had contention a couple days ago about a program she wanted me to use that was free, but I just didn't feel like it would help me. So we kind of argued about that. And then in a nutshell, we get paid every Thursday by her. And for like 2 or 3 years, I had access to her Venmo account, so I would go ahead and pay everybody. Recently, for accounting purposes for her at the end of the year, she wanted us to start doing it by Zelle. And so she had to then go in and pay us every Thursday. And I realized that, you know, she wasn't in the habit. There's a tornado warning in our area for like another 5 minutes. Oh my God. I guess because it's like pouring right now. Like really pouring. God, I hope our electricity doesn't go out because of work. Jesus, that would, if it does, it does. Anyway, so she started paying us every Thursday. And I realized that because I had done it for so long, she wasn't in the habit of doing it. So, last Thursday, she paid us really late. And then yesterday, she forgot to. So normally what I do is I will send her a text and an email reminder in the morning, and then in the evening at like 9, 10 o'clock, I will send another one if she hasn't paid us by then. So I was going to send an email today, because what happens normally is when we don't get paid, some of the team members will message me thinking something's wrong, right? So I had drafted an email to her that I was going to send later, and then she paid us very early this morning. And I said, well, you know, let me still send the email, because what I was asking, all I asked in the email was, is there any way I can have access to your Zelle account so I can pay everybody like I used to do with Venmo? And that's all that I asked. Well, I don't know what is happening, but she took that completely. Like everything I send seems to offend her. So she responded with this long email basically saying, I paid you guys late one day. Is it money tight for everybody? I'll try to do it early in the morning. No, you can't have access, basically. And at the end, she was like, you know, damn, this is something like really great to start my day with. All I did was ask a question. And I responded back. And I'm just like, man, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with stuff like that. And, you know, I listened to, when I started listening to the Minimalist podcast and watching their YouTube videos, this other guy popped up, and I don't know what his name is. Let me see if I can find his name, because I like his videos. It's an African-American gentleman who, I'm going to find it. I'm going to find it because I just watched one of his videos yesterday. Of course. Oh, no, history. It is Timothy Ward, W-A-R-D. So he talks about minimalism too, but he also mentioned a video he did the other day was about quiet quitting your job. And I'm like, what is that? Basically, it's doing just what you need to do to like not get fired, to not get written up, to all of that. And it hit me today that I understand why people do it. And, you know, I used to always be very stressed out and anxiety ridden when I took any time off, because when I came back, I just felt like I would have a bunch of stuff to do. And then next year, Bill and I are taking a week cruise to celebrate his 50th birthday and my birthday too. So we're going to try to do it in May. And my boss next year is taking 2 weeks off for her 50th birthday. And I was like, you know, it'd be great if we could coincide the dates. That way, you know, we each, in one of the weeks that she's off, we take our cruise. So I've sent her, I want to say 2 or 3 emails asking for dates, and she promised she would get me a date this week. And after this morning and yesterday and all of that, okay, I'm going to send her one more email on Sunday, and then if I don't hear anything, Bill and I are just going to book our cruise, and I'm going to give her the week. And if she can coincide with it, great. If not, fine. And when I go to retreats now, instead of working on a Thursday because I don't want to take off 2 days, fucking taking the day off. I'm taking the Thursday and Friday off. I don't care. Don't care. Life is just way too extremely short to just be constantly worried about stuff like that. So yeah, today has been mentally exhausting. All right, so I did no stitching yesterday, but I'm going to show you my piece again because it looks so good. But first, hot cocoa. And that's what I have done on 18 count perforated paper. Don't you love this clipboard? Oh my God, I do. It's like, I don't know what flowers those are, but it's so pretty. So, I messed up the mermaid page that I was doing yesterday. I should just show you guys a page when I'm done. But I started a page in one of the, I have 2 artist editions of Hannah Lynn. And I started coloring in one of the pages yesterday, and holy shit, the paper she uses for her artist editions, which are 150 weight, text weight paper. It's fantastic for colored pencils. I didn't realize how much it really matters what kind of paper you have until I colored on this paper. So this piece is called Vanessa. And what I did was, because it's out of this book, okay, so I'm going to show you the artist editions come on that paper, and they come wire bound, which is fantastic. But I still wanted to pull it out of the book because I'll wind up maybe putting it in my junk journal or in my portfolio. So what I did to make it easier for coloring is I pulled it out of the book and taped it to a piece of cardstock and just used washi tape. But doesn't it look so fantastic? I think I did her cheeks a little bit too dark, but I'm leaving it because I'm not messing with it. And I always like to color the skin first, so I'm doing this one. But the paper, like, it literally, the blending, this is just by pencil. It is literally so smooth. And when you color, it doesn't get on the black. I don't know what it is. I'm in love. Like, I want to order all the artist editions. But what I decided to do, so I have the Sweet and Simple Whimsy Girls, which is fantastic. And then I have Enchanted Halloween, which is like the big one. And what's awesome in the big ones is that they give you, she gives you 2 forms of each page. She gives you, let me find it. I'm going to give you an example. She will give you, wait a minute, I'm trying to find one. Yeah, okay, she'll give you like the normal size. This is the normal size artwork that she did. And then she will give you a closer up picture that has more face and hair, which is my favorite part anyway. So I think I'll tend to do this one, the bigger one, and use the smaller one for like my test page, right? For trying out colors and things like that. And the reason why I love doing Hannah Lynn stuff is because, you know, she created this artwork and she already has it colored. So what I tend to do, because I have such a hard time trying to figure out what colors to color on what, I will use her colors as a guide. And that's what I'm doing with Vanessa. Like the eyeshadows and the eyes were purple, so that's why I went with purple. Her hair is like blue and black. I can't wait to do that. So, and I think I'm going to use my chalk pastels in the background because the background is colored. There isn't much background on this one. But yeah, so I'll be coloring more on this tonight, but it's going to look so good. And I'm just so impressed. So I was so impressed with the artist edition of the book. I decided to increase my patron subscription to the best one. The best one is the artist VIP tier, or it's called artist edition VIP tier or something. Now it's $37 a month. Yes, I know. However, what you get is you get a free artist edition, and she has turned all of her books except like 2 into artist editions. You get a free artist edition signed and mailed to you by her every month. A free one. And she's making new books too. So yeah, so you get a free one. Plus you get all of the VIP pages that she sends, that she does each month for just the patrons. You get those printed on the artist paper and mailed with your book. And you also get a free PDF coloring book every month. I mean, it is well worth it because one of the artist editions like this is $29 plus shipping. There's your $37 right there. Yeah, so for me, it was worth it because I honestly, I mean, I have my Johanna Basford books, but I don't see me buying any other ones but hers because I just love her aesthetic so much on the faces and the women. They're so beautiful. So yeah, so I joined that. So that's exciting. But I do have a couple of OMG moments. I have 3. So the very first one is my friend Brooke, who I have mentioned because she goes to some of the retreats I go to, and she is one of the most wonderful human beings that I've ever come in contact with. Her and her mom, Nancy, are fantastic. Brooke showed this at the last retreat we went to, but she didn't have it framed yet. And she framed it. And it looks utterly fantastic. And this doesn't even do it justice. In person, the stitching is, I mean, this is amazing. But in person, it's just absolutely stunning. Love this so very much. I don't know what the name of it is. It was a stitch along that she did. Okay, someone's asking for a link to the pattern. Okay, we believe, wait a minute, I'm clicking on it. I'll show you. Notorious Needle, we believe stitch along. So there is that, if you would like to stitch it. And it's just so fantastic. She did such a good job. Then someone, Claire Vasey or Vasey, completed her first Heaven and Earth designs. And I cannot with this. This is Iris by Marta Dalig. Holy fucking shit. Look at that. Can you even? I would never be able to stop looking at that. Look at her hair. Love her hair, totally. Isn't it so? And the face, I mean, okay, I was wondering I don't know what, like, fabric count or anything, but my God. And then here is another full coverage piece by Christy Fontenot Fusilier. I probably murdered that name. Mystic Stitches Morning Magnolia. This is 52,000 stitches in this, and this is like full coverage. Again, stunning. Jesus, right? The flowers just jump right off the page. I love seeing full coverage pieces. Not that I'll ever stitch one, but I'm just amazed by all of them. Okay. So let's read a motivational story because seriously, if I need anything today. And you know, I got home today from my COVID shot and I had about 20 minutes before work was starting. I was literally never so glad in that moment that today is Friday and Monday's a holiday. So I have a 3-day work week. And Tuesday, our job's only supposed to be like 2.5 hours. So that's a good way to ease me into the work week, because Wednesday could be a long day. We have like a true daily where it's due that night. So I'll probably be working late. Yeah. Okay. Motivational story. Every problem is different and therefore has a different solution. Rounding off the list is this beautiful story about the 3 fishes. Once again, this story is about teaching yourself how to be wise when encountering a problem and never to forget to help others in need. There were 3 fishes living in a pond. These fishes were friends and practically did everything together. One day, a fisherman came across the pond and was delighted to see so many fish. He invited fellow fishermen and they made plans to cast their nets. The wisest of the fish made plans to find a different pond. While one of the fish agreed, the third one of them denied, saying that the pond was home and he shall not vacate it. The third fish further said that there had never been any danger in the pond. I don't see the point of leaving this pond. I think it is cowardly. The first 2 fish were unable to convince their friend, and so they decided to part ways. The next day, when the fishermen cast their nets, the first 2 fish escaped. Obviously, they had left the pond, right? However, the third one gets caught. He had been unable to identify and act upon the problem and was now paying the price of neglecting danger. I didn't like that story. The conclusion: it pays to be wise when faced with a problem. Remember that each and every problem is different and therefore has a different solution. You know, this book needs a proofreader. Let me tell you, there are words missing. Things don't make sense. Just saying. Okay. Yeah, I didn't care for that one. But yeah, I mean, every problem, you need to approach it, I guess, with an open mind is more what it's saying. Maybe. Okay. How are we going to continue to unfuck ourselves in 2022? Quiet quitting our jobs, right? That was a really good tear. I needed that good tear today. Okay. Here's the deal. Your real life is lived in moments. And whether you like it or not, you're always in this moment. Absolutely. Yep. So, yep. Don't really know what else to say about that, but, oh, you know, I want to mention something that I've been thinking about mentioning a while on here. Most of you, if you've been with me since the beginning, you know I had breast cancer in 2000. I was diagnosed in 2016, went through treatment all of 2017, and I'm currently in remission. I have had many people, I want to say I've had a handful of people, I would say over the last month, message me and say they are having the same issue. How did I get through it? Etc. You know, everyone is different and every type of cancer is different, but my biggest piece of advice that I like to give people is to take it one appointment, one treatment, one whatever at a time, because when I was approached with my treatment plan, the thought of going through treatment for an entire year was very overwhelming. So I literally took it one chemo appointment, one biopsy, one MRI, one whatever, because man, did I have, in that month I was diagnosed, I probably had 4 doctor appointments every week. It was insane. It really was a lot leading up to the surgery I had. And there was a video, I don't know if it's still on my channel, but there was a video where I like to say cross stitch saved my life, right? Meaning, during that year, that was probably when I was only doing cross stitch. I wasn't coloring, I wasn't diamond painting. But cross stitch, holy hell, saved me in the darkest days that I had during that year. Because even though I had good doctors, I had the support of my friends and family, you still are the only one going through it. And even though I love my husband, and he was here, unless you're going through it, it was hard for him to know what to say or how to support me. And it's hard sometimes to vocalize that, right? So there were nights I would feel very alone. So my stitching helped immensely. I feel like you need something, whether it's reading. I watched a lot of Grey's Anatomy because that was like my favorite show at the time. You need things, not that you're trying to escape your diagnosis or what's happening, but you need those moments of mental relief from thinking about, am I going to die? I don't know how this is going to turn out. Am I going to lose my hair? You know, all of the things that went through my mind in that year. And so whoever is going through something like this, I wish you well. I wish all of the good things and that you can get through treatment the best way that you can. That's all you can do, the best way that you can. Some days in the chemo ward, I had a really tough time. Losing my hair was very difficult because and another thing was I was initially given an entirely different treatment plan than I was given after surgery, because obviously after surgery, they send the sample to pathology and then other things come back. So my initial diagnosis, I was only supposed to have a lumpectomy, and then I was going to have some radiation, and that was going to be it. I wasn't going to have to do any chemo. So I was like, awesome. And I never forget, because I had to go to my oncology appointment the day that Bill was leaving for a week-long vacation in Florida fishing with one of his friends. I go to the oncology appointment, going by myself thinking that it's going to be okay because I already know my plan. Nope. No. My oncologist wants to tell me that, you know, what they found was more, I guess, severe than what they had initially anticipated. So to protect me from getting it again, making sure it's out of my body, I was going to have to go through a whole year of chemo. The first 3 months I went every week, and I was there for 8 hours a day. And, I mean, once a week, 8 hours a day. And then I did radiation for 6 weeks, 5 days a week. And then I was going to lose my hair. I don't know how I held it together in that office, but when I got into my car, I just busted out crying. And then I called Bill, and I'm crying and I'm screaming on the phone, and he's driving to Florida. So it was like that kind of thing. That was probably the hardest day that I probably had, except when I started losing my hair and I was afraid to brush my hair because I was just losing clumps of it. And I finally got to the point where I was brushing it, and I called him and I said, you're fucking shaving my head when you come home, because I can't do this. I can't do it. So what I would also advise you, if you're going to lose your hair, my insurance paid for a wig, because wigs, like good wigs, like $400 I paid. So I paid for one and they paid for one. So I had 2 wigs, and they helped immensely when I was in public because I was very self-conscious about losing my hair. At home, I would just wear hats. I had so many people that made me hats and all of that. So I was covered in that regard. One day, one step, one treatment, one appointment at a time. That's all you can literally do. Okay. I'm going to get off here now because they just came back on the record, and I need to try to eat something here quickly before I have my part come up. So just thank you for listening to all of that, because I didn't really expect to talk about all of the cancer stuff again at the end. But I hope that what I have gone through and what I experienced, I mean, I'm not someone who can give tons of advice, but I can just tell you what I did and how I got through it. One of the hardest years I probably have had in my entire life, for sure. So, as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing and spending about 24 minutes of your time with me today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.